Oh, hello there, beautiful people. My name is Tim Lee. Welcome to Legacy Studio and Draw Too Much. Package in the mail because I'm on such a fountain pen kick. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. A AHAB Noodlers came in the mail, and I am excited to take a look at it. I've seen the idea about it, and the one thing that intrigues me in comparison to my 7 other fountain pens is that it has a flex nib. So that has me very curious. The drawing on the front here is very, very cool. A whale of a catfish and a whale of a pen. So hopefully that means it's a little larger. I guess let's just open it up and see. It's a smaller box than most of the boxes I see with fountain pens. Here we go. Wow, it's quite, okay, it's light. It's very light. First thing I notice, plastic or whatever material it is, that's quite a very interesting greenish silver hue. It says Noodler's ink on it, Noodler's ink. Let's open it up and take a look. Oh, I like how big that nib is. Also find it interesting that there is no breather hole. That goes all the way down into the stem of the pen. Let's go ahead and see what kind of system we have here. Very smooth opening this. They must have some grease in there. Oh, quite a bit. Wow, that is a very large plunger on that. I do like that. Lots of breathing room. Let's see if I can activate it, how it works. There we go. Okay, so now this top part screws here, and I'm not sure why that screws. I'll probably have to see if there's any information. No information on the box. Doesn't come with any instructions. Definitely some, oh, broken O-ring on it. That's no good. Definitely no good. That's a shame. So I'm hoping that this sealing it against the pen itself will be strong enough. I'm getting kind of grease on my hands here as I do this. Alright, well, let me get a paper towel or toilet paper, and it has a old baby oil kind of smell to it.
What is... This pen smells terrible, dude.
Yeah, it does.
This is the worst.
Thank you, Peter.
Smelling things. I mean, as far as art supplies, this is one of the worst smelling things I've ever smelled.
That's a fair opinion. All right, here we go. Plunger all the way down. Pen is in and plunge up. Maybe we'll do this a couple times to make sure. Okay, I like that it seems to be filling much more than that. It seems to be filling the top side as well. Oh dear, well, I didn't mean to grab the whole unit. I'm wondering why it's sticking right now. Okay. I would like the opportunity to try and get a bit more ink out of this, so let me close this up here. Like I said, that smell is pretty strong. And I think I've actually not read, but seen a review where someone else was mentioning that the smell was kind of strong too, and that did catch me off guard a little bit. I wasn't expecting for someone to say that there was a smell that they didn't care for, but I am finding myself in the same boat. There we go, getting a good amount of ink now, I think. Okay. Once again, I'm a little caught off guard that holds on to that. Maybe the pen itself is too large, the quill is too big Alright, so let's go ahead and clean this off now. That is definitely working its way through the lines here, so I'm curious if that's going to give me issues in the long run since we lost that ring. Let's go ahead and flip this upside down and screw it back in. It's nice and greasy, but a little too much, and that smell is quite pungent. That's the word I'm choosing to use today, pungent. Don't know how accurate that is, but... Well, I got to get started with work today, and I figured I would just use this pen to do some of that work. I am a radio DJ, and I have to write down my weathers every morning. Well, I don't have to, I choose to. And I figured I would use this pen to do that this morning. Whew, I gotta say, that smell is pretty strong. That smell is definitely pretty strong. And I know it's good to grease up the pen, but that is quite... You can definitely smell it. Let's see what happens here. Phew. Definitely a bit of a smell. So let's go with 12, 28, 21. That feels pretty natural. A little scratchy, not much at all. Now, the reason I bought this pen is because it's a flex nib, so let's go for some flexing. So, oh, that's pretty. Huh. And I'm not pushing very hard. Here we go, let's push the pen a bit further. Oh, train tracks. I'm really laying into it to get that deep line. I don't see myself pushing that hard to do that, but even the small amounts are nice. Yeah, that's cool, man. Very nice. That was a terrible attempt at the word very. Let's try over here. Definitely scratchy. It's definitely not a Smoother Pro. So if you're looking for a smoother writing experience, this is not it. But I'm not looking for a smoother writing experience myself. What I'm looking for personally is one with line variation. That's my goal. So line. Let's try a forced word of some sort, and then I got to get to work. So let's try, let's see. And for the record, I don't know anything about cursive. I learned cursive as a kid, but not for an art form. A little train track there. That is definitely, out of all of my pens, the most line variation I have of any of my pens. That's pretty cool. As I'm still writing with this pen, two things are happening now. One, the smell is still there. Smell is still there. Two, the ink is coming out a bit faster now too, so now it's causing bleed on my writing that I didn't have before, which I find rather intriguing. Still a nice pen, but yeah, it's definitely flowing that ink out a lot faster, and I'm not entirely sure why. They did mention, Peter mentioned that he had to heat set his, which I have no idea what heat setting is, and they don't provide any kind of instructions with the pen to talk about heat setting, so now it has me itchy and uncertain about what if I messed something up, because I've already put ink in here. I haven't heat set anything, so now I'm going to look that up. But yeah, so far it's good. It's pumping out ink a little faster now, so I need to get my sketchbook and try it in my sketchbook instead of on this pad of paper. But so far the pen itself is very intriguing. I like it a lot, but the smell is definitely strong, and definitely I'm curious about how it's going to handle on other papers, and if I mess something up by not heat setting it. So that's next on my to-do list. I'm about 2 hours into playing with this pen so far. I don't know what you can see on there. So far, I really, really, really like it. This brings me back to messing with dip pens, dip art pens. I'm definitely dealing with a little bit of train tracking. I watched a couple videos about how you can pull the nib out. It's all pressure fit, so it's a really good pen if you want to finagle with it and make adjustments, and this is working really, really well. I didn't have to do any heat treatment or anything to it as I'm learning, since I already talked about that a little earlier in the video. I did some more research on it, and I mean, it's doing really, really well without me having to really make any adjustments. I messed around with pulling the nib up and down a little bit just to see, which actually caused more train tracks than it helped. So getting the pen exactly as it was and messing with it, I've had the most success just leaving it as it is. But so far, it's doing really, really well. And the line variation, I mean, like even that text right there, I love that that is a possibility with this pen, and something that I don't get out of any of my other pens. And like I said, I got about 7 of them. So I am very much enjoying this pen. I am also very much enjoying the flex of this, and I think that it kind of... let me try one of my other pens now, because I've really, really enjoyed that flex nib to such an extent where now it's kind of like, okay, how would it feel to use one of my pens that I thought I was totally in love with before? And would I still use those? Well, now I will say that one of the things I did actually enjoy about this pen is that I tried using it upside down, and I got some really interesting, really tight lines using it upside down. Didn't always work. It got really, really scratchy and scrapey. Probably don't want to do that too much, but I still gotta say, that's pretty cool. Let me try using like this pen here. This is my Smoother Pro here, and once again, I mean, it's got a gold, this is a 22K gold tip pen. Let me get to a page where I don't have any drawings on here. And let's test them out together. Here, check this out. We'll just tilt this down here over the book. See, I'm getting better at this. I'm learning how to set up my camera so that you guys can see some of this, if this is the kind of stuff that interests you. So here is the Smoother. Ooh, feels pretty rough right now. Let me see if I'm out of ink. Maybe that's what's going on, because I used this for quite a bit. Yep, I'm basically out of ink here. Oh, no, wait a minute. There's a bit more there. I'll push a little bit into the tip very, very carefully. I do definitely need to refill this pen, though. Let's see if that helps a little bit more. Yeah, it's pretty rough. So I need to refill this pen, so we won't use that as a judge. And this one, of course, has a whole different tip. And I forget what they call these, a FOD. The tip, I forget what it is, but this one is an 18 karat. And this one is my, what pen is this? This is my Moonman Mini. So, Moonman Mini, and let's try some pressure stuff. So There's definitely a lot of ink flowing out here, but I gotta admit, I do have a little bit of flexibility on the nib here to get a little bit of thick to thin, and I don't think I've ever really tried to use this pen and push this hard. It's only because I've tried the flex tip now of the other pen that I feel this. So ooh, got some railroad tracking there. So that's the non-flex tip of a FOD, or whatever the proper term is, of that kind of a nib. Let's try my Pilot. I love my Pilot pen. Let's see how it is now that I've tested this. So this is the Metropolitan Pilot. And here we go. So let's go. I think I've learned something new, because I've never tried to really push this hard. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not like pure flex, like crazy flex, but let's see, this one is the AHAB or Noodlers. So let me see here. Noodlers AHAB, and then of course plus carbon, and then let's go for Noodlers and OOD L. Now I think I'm touching my right here. I'm actually touching the ebony of this to it, and I don't mean to do that. So let me try and hold my pen up a little higher. Yeah, I'm definitely scraping. My whole way of writing has changed in one day, in like 1 hour. That's crazy. Right, I think I have officially a final opinion, I think. After doing a few more tests, as you guys have already seen, probably about 15-20 minutes has gone by since the last update in my video. I made the adjustment of separating the ebony from the tip of the pen a bit more and pushing the nib into, and the ebony into the pen a little bit more. And then I popped a bit more ink in with the piston just to get it kind of worked up. And the line work is much thinner, and then I get some really nice pressure sensitivities here. That finger is not for any other reason than pointing that out while still holding my pen. I do think that it's looking really, really nice. It might not be getting the extreme width because I pushed the whole thing in further, so it's not going to flex out as much, but I feel like it's not railroading nearly as much. And the ink is definitely thicker. It is taking longer to dry, but it's giving me a really nice look. So that's going to be my final opinion on this. I definitely like this pen. Definitely like this pen, other than the smell, other than the fact that unfortunately the O-ring was already broken on delivery, other than the fact that it really didn't look anything like the online images that were on Amazon for it. All the same, the flex nib itself is worthy of the pen. And I have learned so much about my other fountain pens and how they have the possibility of writing simply because of the flex nib on this, and then testing my other pens in comparison. It's made me rethink how I can write with my fountain pens, because I guess I've used my fountain pens in too much of a standard writing way and not as much with that pressure on the down pull. And I am definitely finding these all to treat me differently now as I'm writing with them, simply because I used this. So if you want to be inspired to try different things with your fountain pens, get a flex nib, write with that, and then I think you'll come back to all your other pens and get a whole new lease on life on what you can do with those now too, because that's kind of the boat I'm in right now, and I'm actually quite enjoying myself. So I love you guys. Keep it crispy. First Tim 412. I'll see you next time right here on Legacy Studio and Draw Too Much. I hope that you're enjoying these videos on fountain pens. I do have another fountain pen coming in today, which I'll make another video on most likely. And I'm just enjoying this journey, and if you're enjoying it, please hit that like button for me and let me know. I know this is a humongous departure from Caricatures, and most of my content recently is a pretty big departure from Caricatures. I'm still working on Caricatures, still doing stuff, still happy to answer your questions. I'm just enjoying this part of my life right now. This is a nice relaxation from the work side of things. This is my fun right now, and I love learning new things, and this is the stuff I'm learning right now. So if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, ideas of other pens I should try out, things of that nature, this channel is just an art channel, and the art can be so widespread on so many different things. I'm just enjoying the journey, and I hope you're enjoying it too. I'll see you next time. Bye.